one strategy that we know we can do that hasn't been stopped, because this is a take it or leave it game for them. So they need to go in there thinking, we need the best lineup that we can have that's going to be unstoppable for us. Force them to play our game. That's my mindset for them. So the Life Stealer and the Penguin are banned.
If you were Kaolin Monks now, so do you think they might be going for their fallback comfort picks? This is the last game they have to win in this series. Like, they might just go for a much more conservative approach than Team UwU, who are kind of on the edge right now?
Like, last game you saw how well knit they were. And keep forgetting to put up the scene. Sorry, guys. Really, really sorry. So you're looking at from a mindset that you're one win away. You don't, like I said, Team UwU, it's like you got to avoid those comfort picks. If you're Kaolin Monks, on the other hand, maybe a comfort pick for your carry or for the best player on your team might be the best situation. Right. Just so you can get something rolling for your own team. You know, because if you have Team UwU rolling in going, yes, we got the best lineup that we can have, and then you have the best player on the Kaolin Monks with their best player, with the best hero, and you're very comfortable, this is going to be like a clash of clashes. And it's going to be fun to watch. You know, just looking at these picks, you know, like Team UwU, they're just like, that's a respect ban right there. Grimstroke, respect ban. The Kaolin Monks, they don't want to see another Chaos Knight. Not entirely sure if that was more of a respect ban, or if they were just trying to get a comfort pick away from Team UwU, or they have a strategy in mind that would really be messed up if the Chaos Knight came into play.
I've got a little bit of insider info here that maybe the Kaolin Monks have also keyed into. Apparently, the Chaos Knight player from last game on the position 3 likes his hero pool for position 3 is a little more limited than maybe the traditional 3 players might be. So perhaps the Kaolin Monks are trying to completely just remove. So they banned out Chaos Knight, they picked the Night Stalker. These are already 2 position 3s that we've seen Lights play. Maybe they're trying to really like pigeonhole the Team UwU position 3 into a uncomfortable, unfamiliar pick, and then pick, as you said, a hard carry with which their player is very familiar and kind of just completely dominate the lane against the uncomfortable 3 pick on Team UwU and hope for kind of a like edging out a victory in that way.
Well, Team UwU looks like they're still stuck with, they're more not stuck with it. They did their opening gambit of Dazzle and Spirit Breaker.
Right. This is a very reliable Team UwU at this point, I think. Lion, that's a pretty nice pick.
That's a fun pick. The Lion is like how did I describe them one time? Oh, the anti-Shadow Shaman?
Well, what do you mean by that?
Or the evil twin brother of the Shadow Shaman?
Right, I think I see what you're saying. Like a lot of lockdown, and still, like, instead of a lot of damage distributed over time and space with the wards, Lion just has finger, which is like high
no, that's not what
damage.
I'm saying at all. They just have a very, very core basic set of that's basically the same. Like, they both have a hex. They both have a disable. One's a stun, the other one is a disable. They have 2 spells that are the same practically. Yeah. Their ultimates are very oriented towards its specific value. For instance, the finger is mainly to finish off an opponent. Those snake wards is to do both. So the Shadow Shaman's more like the more versatile of the 2. And Lion has Mana Drain as opposed to, you know, the Aether Shock that the Shadow Shaman has. But, you know, that's why I say, like, the Lion's like the evil twin brother. He doesn't care about being more useful about the team. He just wants to suck you off, finger you, and hex the crap out of you, make you a small little thing for him to play with as he stuns you to death.
How terrifying.
Well, take a look at him. He's pretty damn ugly to begin with. Would you want to invite that to your wedding? No.
I don't know, man, though, but like Shadow Shaman's not exactly a Casanova either.
I'd rather not invite both of them to my wedding.
Yeah, I would rather invite like Dragon Knight or something. Like, he'll get you a sick gift.
Oh yeah, Dragon Knight will get you a sick gift. No, honestly, like, well, actually, you know what? He might show up with a dragon and be like, "Yes, this is my lady friend, but there's a dragon over there for you." Oh, thanks, man.
Like,
I got a dragon as a wedding gift. I didn't know your kind allowed us to have dragons. We don't. He's there to protect you and your children. But mainly, if you make him mad, he might eat you.
Yeah, like,
so don't do it.
Like, did you save the receipt? Can I take it back? Ooh, Wraith
I cannot unhatch my own children, damn it.
Yeah, this is like Dragon Knight, like, getting away from paternal duties, you know? He just, like, gives dragons to people. Like, oh, yeah, thanks, great gift. Okay, don't come
No, it's completely against the lore. Because, what was it? The lore, he was human, then he became a dragon because he got cursed? No, I forgot the lore. Oh, look at that. They banned out the Timber Saw and the Lena. I'm thinking they did a respect ban on the Timber. So they can go ahead and have those strength heroes that it kind of seems like they're comfortable with.
Yeah, with Wraith King coming up as the pick as well, surely they and I feel like Team UwU have to ban very tactically here. They have to really, like, because, you know, they, like you said, this is the all or nothing game, you know. They can't afford to maybe take a risk on a ban that might not have been so useful in later phases, but the Timber Saw ban, I think, is very like reliably useful when you're drafting Spirit Breaker, Wraith King, probably other heroes. Now, Bane and Lion so when you were talking about Lion as the evil twin of Shadow Shaman, and one of these factors is that they both have 2 disable abilities, which is quite a few. I mean, I don't know, I think that's above average. Bane came to mind as another, maybe like a distant cousin of both of them in terms of like way more utility, but still like a high amount of disables in like for one character.
I speak for the tree.
Yeah, I mean, like, you take a look at Bane and you're like, man, he is just a great support. Like, his Enfeeble deals with right clickers easily. He can brain sap. He has a Nightmare. Then he has Fiend's Grip. Jesus, why can't I talk today? And out comes the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, what do you think about this Nature's Prophet pick? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it kind of depends on how they want to run him. Ooh, Ember Spirit. Well, let's see here. We also see the Broodmother and the Viper pick being banned. Those guys are banned, not picked. Wait, and they banned the Monkey King. So they're, was it Team UwU who used Monkey King? Oh, they're afraid of them using Monkey King.
UwU last time, yeah.
That's interesting. So I'm seeing they didn't want to deal with a Grimstroke. They don't want to deal with a Timber. They don't want to deal with an AoE ult. They don't want to deal with someone who has a lot of damage. Tiny and the Lifestealer. They didn't want to deal with that. I gotta think here. Who would be the big mid? I'm thinking the big mid for UwU might be, well, me personally, OD. I love OD. No, Storm Spirit might be a good idea for them. Yeah, there's a lot of disables that have gone away. So I think I'm talking to myself. Yep. There we go. You're back now.
I was in the middle of typing frantically, like, oh no, Pazzy, why?
Basie got your back. I got you. No, no, it was a little too silent. I'm like, he usually talks back or says, good insight. No,
you know, that itself is a good insight.
Yeah, like, try to move your mouse around so that way Discord doesn't go, oh my gosh.
I see. Yeah, it's like an inactivity thing. All right.
Yeah, it's an inactivity. It thinks you're AFK.
So I was thinking the Timbersaw ban might have, in a way, foreshadowed the Nature's Prophet pick as well. Morphling, huh? Now, I think this might be exactly what you were talking about, like the comfort pick for a carry, like
Stream
Devourer as well.
Stream. What do I say about OD? And I was thinking, like, what was the like? I was looking at Kaolin monks, and I'm just like, huh, who's their carry? Because if they get a hybrid, if they get a morphling, like if they get a big carry, that's gonna be pretty good for them. Because in the off lane, they have to deal with a Nature's Prophet and a Spirit Breaker. You know, Nature's is great and everything, but they have to deal with a morphling who can escape the trees and who can farm like no other business. So that's going to be tough for them to stop. You know, but like, I don't know. Like, oh, Bloody Mary is going to be with the OD. I just realized that now.
Of course, they seem to be. They really like to put a mid. At least they have done so in this best of 3.
Yeah.
I wonder though if maybe they should. I mean, hang on though. If they're putting OD mid, Nature's Prophet offlane, does that mean Wraith King is their position 1?
Mm-hmm. It's their position 1.
I mean, do you see a way this works out where OD is somehow their position 1?
Like throw the OD into the safe lane?
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, it seems kind of icky. But I feel like they definitely want to try and get their rank 22 player to do as much, like to put as much of the game as possible in this guy's hands.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the OD and put him in the safe lane, now you got to reshuffle your lineup. That meaning you take the Nature's Prophet and put him mid, but Nature's Prophet has to deal with either the Morphling or the Ember mid at this point. At that point, you'd rather have the OD mid so he can go ahead and get his experience. Go ahead and try to harass the crap out of the Ember or the Morphling, and just try to, you know, tip the favor in his favor. And from what we saw last game, you know, Bloody Mary's a pretty good mid player. You know, he's not someone to scoff at. So we're gonna probably see some sort of problem or, you know, like issue of battling up top, because it seems like both teams want to go top. They already drew out their battle lines, going, okay, let's go this way. This is our route. I believe they smoked up on. Yep, I believe they did. They already smoked up. And the Morphling's already in the safe lane.
Yeah,
that's a fun build right there, folks. 9 tangos. You're not getting pushed out of lane. Oh, you got all 5 heroes. And here we go. Here's the fight, buddy.
That's a large spike onto 3 immediately, and a brain sap following it up. And Spirit Breaker is leading the charge here. Bane is getting slowed up with the orb, and one more auto attack will seal him out. Meanwhile, the Night Stalker comes out of the bench. Another beautiful spike from the Lion player. He's really lining him up, but it's not going to be enough to save the Night Stalker, who gets run down. More CC out, and nice two quick kills. Let's put the Dire in an early lead for this game.
Yep. It's a quick 2 kills. They have less than a K gold lead.
I'll help my weak and puny allies where I can.
Oh god.
I mean, I feel like this is kind of Kaolin monks were kind of prepared for that. You know, that's probably why they sent the Morphling down. Like, that's not the sort of thing they want their Morphling to get involved with, and it's the sort of thing that they can afford to have not go so well.
It kind of seems like they're doing a little swap here, but I think they are intent on having their Morphling be alone. He's going to go one-on-one with the Nature's Prophet up top. And we see 2 double wards in the same spot. We have the OD already harassing the crap out of the Ember. Interesting.
Now, how about this mid matchup? Ember Spirit versus OD. What's the breakdown here?
The breakdown here is very simple. Don't use Flame Guard that often. Because, well, actually... Because, that Astral Imprisonment, man. Alright, so, you know, it's kind of tough here because, like, you want to use your Flame Guard and you don't want to. Because you can't spam it as much as you want to in the early game. As opposed to the OD, once it gets level 2, it's just like, okay, I'm going to Astral Imprisonment you whenever I can, and I'm going to activate my Equilibrium to get my mana back. What are you going to do about it? I'll respond with more Flame Guard, but he took more in. Yeah.
And, you know, that's exactly what we're seeing going on in this lane right now.
Well, I'm calling it out. It's not that difficult. And this Nature's Prophet is trying his best to harass this Morphling out of lane, and you know it's extremely difficult to do that. You know, but he's doing his best. It helps to have a Blightstone too. So I don't think the team sees that the Spirit Breaker is hiding in the shadows.
Yeah.
But
On a
we may
level
have
1 Morphling, I mean, do you think there's a charge coming up mid here, perhaps, and not even necessary. OD just locking up a quick kill on the Ember Spirit. Now, OD definitely strikes me as one of these heroes that if you get a little advantage early, you can definitely snowball and take control of a game in a way that, I mean, Monkey King can do so as well, but not every hero can do, for example.
Yeah, that is for sure. I mean, ooh, you wish he had a Mango there. It's a
looks like Morphling might be in a little bit of trouble here, and a couple more auto attacks, but they don't have the vision.
Can't do much. Can't see it. You know, it's intriguing. The Night Stalker, oof, he's getting his farm to a certain extent. But let's take a look at the net worth real fast. Oh wow, that is a massive discrepancy. The OD is just taking a lot. He went out of the gate charging.
Yeah, no kidding. And this Ember Spirit, it seems like he's gonna have a pretty hard time.
Yeah, he's not gonna have a fun time. He's trying to pull the wave while farming it. This Morphling's like living on the edge.
Yeah, Morphling is like hanging around at 108 HP with the Spirit Breaker off. I mean, here comes the charge. Let's see what happens. Interrupted with the Adaptive Strike, but Morphling is stuck in the Ring of Trees, and not a very quick strength swap. Maybe it's going to be enough though. Morphling on 23 HP, and Spirit Breaker and Nature's Prophet are just going in for it. Nature's Prophet taking a little bit of damage from the Bane, the tower focusing the creep the whole time through, and now Spirit Breaker eating a couple tower shots, getting killed by a Agility Adaptive Strike, a couple tower shots, and a Bane auto attack. It's definitely not the way they planned that out, but it's just like some crisp play on the Morphling's part, surviving on such low HP, turning it around like that. A lot of cool and collected play. Spirit Breaker, of course, unfazed, immediately gets back up and charges Lion Bot now. Got
Hi,
level
buddy.
3 on the Dazzle.
What up?
And Lion here, stunning out the Wraith King. Maybe he's going to be able to... No escape from that. And now Night Stalker is 1v3 here, but has an avenue through which he can escape and turn around, maybe even go on this Dazzle. It is a very convenient nighttime. Night Stalker with 1 point Hunter in the night. Dazzle still has a heal available, but Night Stalker is going to eat this charge now. A lot of CC, not able to lock down the kill on the Dazzle. And now Night Stalker's in a lot of trouble here. Lion's back. Hits a nice stun on the Wraith King. Looks like Night Stalker's going to get away just fine.
Thank you.
Maybe I spoke too soon. They're still engaged here, but the health potion is going to top them off.
Let's see how's top doing. Morphlings is chilling. How's mid? Where's Ember?
Yeah, right?
Ember's already forced into the jungle, more or less. Hate saying that, but like, it looks like OD's.
Yeah, OD is really
Yeah, he's just taking it. I think
running the lane right now.
yeah, he's owning that lane. He's like, this is mine. And I want to go ahead and say that Jin Kisei, I think his name is, I think he recognized that he was going to have a really tough time in the lane. So he immediately cut his losses and went straight for the jungle, try to keep up with the gold as much as he can to the best of his abilities. You know, the jungle, it got nerfed a bit, but it didn't get nerfed so much that you can't, it won't be viable to go ahead and just jungle in it for a little bit. And oh gosh, top. That Morphling survived, barely. Ooh. That was close.
Every time I look at Morphling, he's on so low HP.
Yeah. That's a quick tower for middle.
Yeah, OD with, I think, what's that, the first catapult taking down the tower?
Yeah. Looks like first catapult.
This
Yeah.
is, I like,
It's so key.
you know, it looks like they're going to be able to secure the top tier 1 tower as well.
Structures are fortified.
How are things looking bot? Bot tower is untouched. Except for a single Wraith King Skellington. Now, normally the hope would be something that, like, if you were in Ember Spirit's position, you would, you know, retreat to the jungle, not feed the OD, and hope that your team could maybe rotate, help you get a kill on this OD, and help you lock it up or even it out a little bit. But this OD is just operating so quickly, it doesn't seem like any of his team are in any position to really rotate. I mean, Night Stalker, here come Night Stalker and Bane trying to make something happen, but it doesn't seem to, it's not paying off yet. Oh, Nature's Prophet maybe getting caught out here, but
Yeah, he messed up.
fleeing in the nick of
He
time.
missed his chains.
And now it's a 2v4 situation here with the nice Earth Spike and Sanity's Eclipse doing a lot of damage, but not killing anyone, and self-imprisonment gonna perhaps preserve OD's life just a little bit, but not enough. They're unable to secure the kill on the Ember Spirit here. Spirit Breaker with, oh, that's a nice grade from the Dazzle. It's gonna keep Spirit Breaker alive a little longer, but again, he's against 3 heroes here and not making any distance. I guess that was the kind of rotation I was talking about, the sort of thing you'd hope to see to even out the slower start that Ember Spirit had against this OD.
Mm-hmm. Well, the slow start is a slow start no matter. Oh wow! So they might find out there's a ward in that area thanks to the Nature's Prophet bolt. That might be misintention. It might be unintentional to reveal your own wards, but you know, you're trying to push lanes as fast as you can when you're Nature's. It's like, take a look at this. He's jungling sort of with the Wraith King. You know, they already took the safe lane bottom tower. Makes sense for them to keep pushing hard.
It's all unfolding mid. Wraith King and Nature's Prophet, I believe, were able to take bottom tower. That's like a pretty good pushing combo, I suppose. A lot of minions.
Yeah, there's a lot of minions there that they could use for a push. You know, not to mention, you know, the built-in Vlad's ability from the Wraith King is so useful. Keep everything alive. You know. And it's a lot of fun to see how some of these players are just trying their best not to lose their lane. the Radiant side lost the first 3 towers within the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That is
If Dire,
so good for the Dire.
if they're
Radiant's
able to
like,
keep
they
this
did not see that coming.
momentum going, it looks like Bane perhaps getting caught on the wrong side of a bounty rune expedition here. Able to get the rune though. Like honestly, that might even be worth it.
Yeah, the more important thing there is the Bane recognizing OD's right there. Whatever you do, do not feed him kills. Do not feed him kills. So he
Speaking
immediately
of feeding
nightmared
kills,
him.
Night
Yep.
Stalker here getting caught, not quite getting caught, I suppose. Managing to escape with the nighttime ult. Morphling taking the form of Wraith King here. Spirit Breaker dying somewhere on the way, but this fight bottom is still, they aren't committed yet entirely, and as I say that, they commit now. Grave on the Dazzle. Dazzle's effectively dead here. Ember Spirit unable to stop Wraith King from TPing away.
Yep. And while that was all going on, I believe the Spirit Breaker was murdered in mid by the Bane.
Yeah, I was wondering how that happened. It must have been an alt combo, right?
It was a Fiend's Grip and something else. Probably a Brain Sap after that.
So now
Oh, yeah.
I think the Radiant team here, Kaolin Monks, are very aware after losing those first 3 towers so quickly. They're more aware about making rotations in order to defend objectives. I mean, this bottom tier 2 tower was, I mean, the team UwU weren't challenging it too seriously, but all 5 Radiant heroes still ended up down here contesting, defending, and pushing the Dire away.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think Team UwU isn't as up to snuff as the Kaolin Monks, because it kind of seems like the Kaolin Monks really are on the same page. They're synergizing really well. They don't seem to be a team that is shaken, more or less, by losing 3 towers in less than 10 minutes. It might be 4 if they don't contest this.
it's
4 towers
yeah,
in
maybe
less
I
than
spoke too
15.
soon.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to focus on cutting their losses as much as possible to try to keep themselves in the game as best as they can.
Yeah.
The Dire are already up 5k in terms of net worth. They're trying to see if they can catch this Morphling out.
Yeah, charge on the Morphling. Interrupted as usual. Doesn't look like Nature's Prophet or Wraith King are in position to follow up here.
Oh,
Morphling
no.
though, just walking right into him. Waveform away, no problem.
Is this a response from... Oh, this might be a response from Kaolin Monks. Oh, I think they may not want to as soon as they see the OD. Because OD has such strong team fight right now. He has a shadow... he has a shadow amulet? Bloody Mary, what are you doing?
Where's the shit?
Why the shadow amulet? Oh, no.
They've got the...
Oh, no.
Whoa. I have no idea what's going on. Morphling in the form of
Oh,
someone
that's a
getting
bye-bye.
stunned, and Night Stalker being kept stunlocked by Spirit Breaker in the side, but Spirit Breaker dies for it. OD died somewhere in there as well. Wraith King now, it looks like Team UwU are just trying to get out of here however they can, and they just cannot. Night Stalker cleaning up a kill on the Dazzle, and Wraith King stuck in the corner 2v1 against Morphling and Bane. The rest of the Radiant team show up, and they got some damage on the tower. That's a cheeky little play from the Wraith King, and the Centaur stun. Absolutely incredible, just saving Wraith King's life, but it's not over yet. It looks like Morphling is... Oh, never mind. That was an incredible juke into the Centaur stun. That was remarkable.
Oh, man.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, is what happened, Morphling became OD,
Yes.
banished OD, and then OD was just caught out of position right next to the tower here, bot, where all the trees are dead now.
Yeah, and then the best part is Morphling used the equilibrium, so he started getting his mana back. So he was just like, I'm getting mana back, folks. So that was such a nice play from the Morphling. The cheeky play that the Wraith King did saved his life so much. Going ahead and running through these camps, going, yeah, da 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 da. I think it was a little bit of luck. A little bit of luck there, having the Centaur camp there, because I'm pretty sure he didn't have any knowledge that that was a Centaur camp. The moment he realized and recognized that it was a Centaur camp, he decided to, instead of going further this way, he decided to go ahead and make a left, to go ahead and draw in the other 3 heroes to come in, to go ahead and get stomped on, so he can go ahead and make his escape route going this way.
3-man Centaur stomp. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. All part of the plan, folks.
Yeah.
And that's where you need to recognize in Dota the little intricacies that you have, because the Centaur Stomp automatically procs whenever they see 3 enemies that's attacking it, or the centaurs, whatever, you know? So knowing and recognizing that Stomp was going to happen, you know, like he was going to go, it looked like he was going to go straight this way. By making that left, like I said before, saved his life, forcing the other heroes to come in. And not to mention, it creates a lot more distance instead of him going straight up. Because if you went straight up, you know, the Radiant would have a lot of vision on him, giving him less juke gauge power.
Right.
The more juke options that you have to run around in the jungle, the more chances you have to survive. And not only that, the Radiant recognized that they weren't going to be able to go ahead and kill him, so they just ran away. I wouldn't say ran away, they just went back to objective-based gaming.
Yeah, they didn't tunnel vision for sure.
If they tunneled vision right there, there was an opportunity for the Dire to show up at the mid tower here and go into the Radiant side to save the Wraith King at this position, while the Morphlings over here and the rest of the Radiant teams back there, if they tunneled vision.
But in the end, so what I was going to ask you, but so right now the bottom tier 2 tower did end up falling to some Nature's Prophet creeps and a catapult wave. Before that though, the inciting event for the fight we saw bot was a coordinated push from the Dire to take that tower down, and I think like the Dire team should be fairly good at pushing things. Like we were talking a little bit about the minions, the Wraith King aura, etc. The fact that they got together for this coordinated push and were, at least initially, unable to take the tower kind of suggests that, to me at least, it says that...
that is a dead OD. That is the last hero. If you're the Dire, you want dead on your team.
Nature's Prophet is quickly going the way of OD. They're going to retreat
Bloody
to the
Mary
shrine
coming
here,
back with a TP.
it might be enough. It's going to keep the Nature's Prophet alive a little bit longer as he fights the Ember Spirit, and he's going to... the trees around himself, they're going to be able to kill the Ember Spirit before the Nature's Prophet goes down, and in fact, they were able to kill the Night Stalker as well. That's...
and the Night Stalker was able to find the lion in the back lines and just took him out. He bought back. My assumption is he TP'd mid.
Spirit Breaker's charging Morphling top here. Morphling unable to interrupt the charge, and now OD has gotten involved, quick stun back, and Bane is here to save the Morphling. It doesn't look like they'll be able to get any more hero kills just yet, but suddenly they're in a great position to push the last tier 2 tower on the Radiant side of the map. Yeah,
the Dire team, Team UwU, recognizes that they need to be super aggressive in tower pushing right now, because they can't let this game go past 35 minutes. The moment they do that, the Morphling's gonna be so farmed, it's not gonna be fun for them to deal with. You know, the OD did an interesting build right now by getting the Hand of Midas and the Shadow Blade.
OD is in a huge amount of trouble here. It's a 4v1. OD doesn't even get to cast a spell. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I was saying the OD went with an interesting build of Hand of Midas and Shadow Blade. Like, he's going full gank mode. Which... I am a little curious as to why he's doing that. I understand, especially when you have this much map control. Like, when you have that much map control, you know, go ahead and take advantage of it for your team. You don't need to go ahead and start ganking. Like, let the Nature's Prophet do that for you.
Right.
You know? But let the Spirit Breaker do that. Like, if he's doing a follow-up, that's fine. But, you know, I see where the train of thought is of him wanting to gank and put the pressure on. You know, he's already going for his BKB right now. He has his Shadow Blade. So he should be perfectly fine as long as he can get that BKB for the rest of the game.
Right, once he gets that BKB, their only option remaining on the Radiant side is Fiend's Grip, I think, to keep OD locked down.
Yep, there it is.
And it looks like there's going to be a bit of a gank coming out on mid here. They're going to try and... Oh, that's a really nice Nightmare on the Ember Spirit, saving him from the Wraith King stun. Wraith King ulted off to the side here. Dazzle melts. Nature's Prophet died very early in that. Spirit Breaker's unable to get away here. Morphling joins the fight. It looks like Wraith King is going to go down soon. I believe his ult is up, but 5 situation here. OD reasonably deciding just to leave before things get even worse.
Yep.
I mean, that was a gank that they tried to coordinate. I think the Lion kind of caught them in the act and was able to disrupt them a little bit. But as you were talking about, that the Dire should feel pressured to kind of try and close this game out, or at least make some decisive progress towards victory before the Radiant heroes get too strong. But it looks like the Radiant are actually holding their own in these fights. I mean, they were able to repel that push bot at first, and they're able to turn around these ganks a little bit. They're getting a couple of good picks on OD as well. It seems like this game is definitely going in their favor right now.
Yeah, they were down 5-6k and they came back storming with a 1k lead. You know, that it's like that gank in the middle. They were going in trying to wrap around into the two heroes, you know, and they were almost able to do it. What threw them off was when Nature's TP'd right into the center of those trees. He did not see the lion lying in wait, and the lion got the better of him a lot faster than the Nature's could,
Like
because the Nature's has the
Blink is
Orchid.
active on Wraith King. Oh, and little comes of it yet. Large auto
This might
attacks
be a
from
dead
OD.
lion.
This might be a dead lion. I would be surprised. Lion. Oh,
Oh, he juked him.
Pulling off some ankle breakers here, man.
He
And
juked him great.
The Dire, just like after that, they're just calling it a day. There's no coming back.
They recognized the failed gank there, and they said, we're going to cut our losses, not get killed, not get caught out, and let's run. Because they went from practically like a 5-6 to 1 lead in terms of kills down 16 to 9, if I'm not mistaken.
Their
They had
play
a
is
substantial
definitely,
lead.
Yeah, they're more they're a little less aggressive. They're definitely running away from that failed gank attempt instead of trying to, you know, like eke out a kill on one of the supports or try and like pull a cheeky little play or something like that.
A support is a support, but a core, that gives you more.
So now, if you are the Kaolin monks, if you are the Radiant, the game plan, I mean, you know, push where you can, get kills where you can, but do you think it's just a matter now of running out the clock until Morphling is adequately farmed and can just 1v5?
Well, the dude has a Manta, and he's working on the gosh, what was it called again?
E-Blade.
The E-Blade. He's working on the E-Blade. It's not going to take long for him to get there.
Looks like 2 quick kills here on the Radiant support. I'm not sure, I guess they just got caught out warding or something. It looked like Wraith King was able to blink onto them, another one got banished, and the damage is, I mean, any amount of damage onto a lion is enough damage, but OD, like, that's just unnecessary violence.
Yeah, what was really interesting about that play was the OD Shadow Blade, and he came downhill looking around because they saw them pushing out, and he's thinking, oh, we can probably get the Morphling. Instead, you got the two supports going uphill with no vision because they're warding, you know, which is perfectly fine. You know, that's the way of the support. You're going uphill blind and you're like, I must do something for my team. I must give vision. If I don't give vision, that's not good for my team. And oh no, I don't want to be I don't want to be Night Stalker right now. Oh no, he's just getting murdered and mauled bottom.
Yeah, no way. Wow, look at that. The escape. Oh. Do you think perhaps no? Ember Spirit's disconnect doesn't matter for that.
No, he's not surviving
team.
this.
What am I talking about? Yeah, he's not surviving this. You say?
Because the Charge of Darkness is on him.
That's true. Spirit Breaker is very close by. Now, do you think I could see a way this plays out? You know, if he's able to get the halberd off on the Spirit Breaker, perhaps maybe he's able to void the Spirit Breaker out of the charge.
The charge alone is gonna do enough damage, I believe.
Here it comes. Night Stalker has to make plays.
Oh,
Man, it's not
yep, there we go.
And here
He
off
needed
to the
a little
side,
bit more
Bane
time.
showing up, getting involved, and nightmaring himself, but it's not going to save him. It's just going to delay the inevitable here as four heroes collide.
And that was fantastic recognition from the Dire side. They were all grouped up in this whole entire area. They have a ward right here. They see the Bane running this way. They know Spirit Breaker is going to be able to kill the Night Stalker all alone. So the whole entire team decides to go ahead and go in this direction and hunt down that Bane.
Earth Spike hitting two, Spirit Breaker and Wraith King both controlled, and Spirit Breaker going down after a Grave Ember Spirit, fleeing the situation. Lion leaving at his own pace here. So the Dire are playing a pretty active game here, you know, I mean...
They are playing an active game, but it always seems like the Radiant have an answer to that play. You know, they took out the Night Stalker. They killed the Bane. They're trying to get more. They lost the Spirit Breaker, and look at this. The Radiant have an answer for themselves. They see the Wraith King all alone in the Dazzle.
Immediately, OD
Bye-bye,
just gets
OD.
obliterated within the space of CC here. Wraith King and Dazzle in the area, but they're not. They're probably going to retreat and allow this tower to fall.
You know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying about like the Dire are like, yeah, they're playing this active game, but they're not changing any. They're not getting very much out of it. Here's a larger fight coming down. Bane is the first to fall, and Nature's Prophet not able to escape either, not doing all that much. Morphling chasing down the Spirit Breaker on one side, while Wraith King 3v1 against Lion, Night Stalker, and Ember Spirit on the other. I don't see how Wraith King is gonna get out of this situation alive, but at the same time, Spirit Breaker was able to escape the Morphling, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, the Radiant did such a fantastic job with the gank on OD. They saw him and took him out. They could have easily gone in for the Wraith King kill and maybe the Lion that was hanging out around there. But that wasn't the case. They stayed right on track, and they're like, the easiest one for us to get is the OD. OD has BKB, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get him down a little bit later on once that BKB is activated. But with the amount of physical damage that the Morphling is doing, and not to mention that Ethereal Blade that is slowly but surely creeping into his inventory. You know, once that BKB wears off, OD is going to be lunch meat for the Morphling.
And Morphling has been playing, I mean, we can talk about the teams playing liberally or conservatively, but Morphling itself, herself, Morphling itself, 0 deaths, 1-0 and 8. You can tell they're really they're playing a very safe might be the wrong word, but they're playing the game they'd like to play. They're not getting caught out. They're not getting chased out of their jungle. They're here farming. If there's a fight breaking out nearby, they'll show up, participate, throw an adaptive strike. But as you were saying, like creeping along, that really seems like the right way to put it. Like in one fight, Morphling's just going to show up with the Ethereal Blade, and the Dire team, it feels like they're going to be taken by surprise. Like, oh, we were doing so good, you know, we were tanking their heroes. How did Morphling get this big item? Well,
and he has enough for
the
it.
Dire, they're ganking Radiant heroes, but they're not ganking the ones they need to in some sense. They're getting kills on, for example, Bane, maybe even Night Stalker, and those are good, but the Morphling is, as you've identified, the threat.
While you were talking, he got the Ethereal Blade. He just needed 1 creep score. That's it. And here's the OD trying to set something up for his teammates, just so he can. Oh, well, the Shadow Blade's gone. That's trouble for him.
And the
that's
E-Blade, there it is, the BKB on the OD, and Night Stalker on the side here, just taking the wrath of 4 heroes and a large Sanity's Eclipse. Actually, I'm not sure
he
who
missed.
that hit.
It only hit the Night Stalker because the Morphling waved right in the middle of it while the Ember Spirit went ahead and used the Spirit.
Ooh, and
so nobody was there to get
trying
smacked.
TP out here.
Oh no.
It looks like Morphling is going to go down finally for the first time this
Oh
game.
gosh.
That's the kind of kill they were probably looking for.
No, that's the kill they were looking for. You know, that Morphling, you know, he was he was more or less around near the top of the net worth. Now they just threw him down in the middle of the pack. He doesn't have buyback to help defend this.
As well.
So this is all on Ember, Lion, and Bane for 4 seconds until Night Stalker can come back up. And if I'm Night Stalker, if I have to, I would throw my body to the wolves. You know, not to mention Ember now has his BKB, his BKB.
The Dire retreating after all. Perhaps they sense the danger, or maybe, as you mentioned in the picking phase, like they're definitely Team UwU are going to be playing with a different mindset than Kaolin Monks in the game 2 here. So maybe we saw a little bit of that in the decision not to press high ground with 20 seconds on Morphling.
You know, it's you know, you got to make the right smart plays, and it's not that they're doing the wrong plays, they're doing smart right plays. It's just whatever they do, the Radiant, the Kaolin Monks, they have a good answer for it. They just took out people. I mean, just like, you ganked one of their heroes, oh, they're gonna come back and, you know, take 2 of yours. Well, you took 2 of ours, we'll take your whole team. You know, it's they're doing great. I mean, this is in terms of boxing, this is a very calculated chess fight between 2 heavyweights that are just ready to throw that knockout punch, and just when they think they got it, you know, boom.
Little dip to the side, and suddenly there's another whole round.
Yeah, just not enough time to finish the round, or in this case, it's just they're just counter punching the crap out of each other. and they for every hook, the guy has an uppercut. For every uppercut, he has an overhand. It's ridiculous. You know, these 2 teams are really trying to find advantages where they can. This poor Dazzle, the O222, he's just like, I got to do everything I need to do by giving vision and dewarding. The Wraith King recognizes he needs to stay in fights a lot longer than he needs to be, so he got his BKB. The Ember Spirit grabbed his BKB because the OD, you know, is just gonna just murder all of them. You know, the Night Stalker, he got his Heaven's halberd, you know, so you can go ahead and stop the OD or the Wraith King or Nature's or the Spirit Breaker from attacking. This, you know, they're playing a really nice chess match right now. It's amazing to see this. You know, if you're a fan of Dota, this is what it comes down to. It's item choices and skill play.
How long do you think it's going to be until we see Roche become a factor?
Roche is going to become a factor as soon as this fight happens. Because whoever loses this fight, they're going to be on the back end.
Yeah. Speaking of which, immediately Bloody Mary and Spirit Breaker go down, followed by Dazzle. This is not the way the fight should begin if you're on the Dire. Nature's Prophet just trying to leave, not going to make it out of there in time. All of a sudden, I mean, forget Roche. It looks like the Radiant are going to try and get even high ground off the back of this. And I don't see why not.
I think this I see why not. Honestly, like, you're the Wraith King, you kind of starting to throw yourself at the wolves. Your natures, I think you may need to buy back. I'm not entirely sure what the play is here. Because like, your OD is down for 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Your nature's going to be up in 20. So you're going to have 4 people. And it sucks that the OD didn't have buyback. And he was nowhere near buyback, more or less. So as you can see,
also, had ult available there.
he did, but what good is his ult if he's just going to throw himself at the wolves and be like, okay, go ahead and kill me twice.
Then buyback, die a 3rd time. You never know.
But he had enough for buyback, but that wouldn't be like a smart thing for him to do. But
Yeah.
dying twice, then buy, and then doing a dieback. Like, yeah, sure, that's great. You just fed him like 2 hero kills. That's the last thing you want to do. Go ahead and lose racks.
Like, you don't guarantee that you'll preserve the racks either.
Exactly. You know, so it's better off to go ahead and cut your losses. As you can see, somebody already pointed out they want to go to Roche. You know, somebody wants to go to Roche. That guy wants to go to Roche. You know, they're making the right calls. You know, that team fight that happened in mid was absolutely just fun to watch. Right? The Dire were stuck in a bad spot. They were all here in this area. They were all together, but they lined up perfectly for a spike from the Lion and the follow-up.
Yeah, the
If they
Radiant
were...
initiation was so good.
Yeah, if they were anywhere else on the map, if they were over here, if they were there, they would have had an interesting team fight going on. Because if they won that fight, they would have been over here grabbing that Roshan and then marching down mid. Unfortunately for the Dire, it was the Radiant Kaolin monks that took it.
We got that Roche down for Aegis on the Morphling, I'm guessing. I mean, I'd be pretty shocked to find it on the Lion.
I did that one game.
Playing...
It was fun. I forgot who our carry was, but I was the Lion, and I'm just like, okay, I'll pick it up. I die too fast. Why'd you do that? Oh, hold on. I got a plan. Trust me. It's a good plan. Why? Just follow me. I ran uphill, died immediately. The rest of the team's like like slowly but surely killing everybody. I revive and start spiking everything and helped kill the rest of the team. And I'm like, see, all according to plan. Everybody was like facepalm.
You should be coaching these teams, man. These are like next level tactics.
Oh no, not with that tactic. Not with that tactic.
I don't know. There's no way Team UwU would see that coming. We can say that at least.
Team UwU is going to be like, we know your plan. Stop it.
It looks like very little time spared here. They're going straight for the high ground push off the back of this Aegis, and a little bit of an engagement here. Wraith King and Morphling trading hits, but really trading tower damage. And Morphling incurring the wrath of OD, Nature's Prophet. Wraith King hitting that Manta style though, and on the back line, Spirit Break coming in, trying to disrupt a little bit of Morphling's backup before they can come to his aid, but Morphling is just activating BKB and bossing through the entire lineup. Night Stalker on the back here as well, killing the Dazzle, cleaning everything up. Bane struggling to find relevance here, and who is this? Ember Spirit stuck in the middle of the... Oh, that was like a decent Sanity's Eclipse, but not enough damage to outright kill anyone. OD still doing work. Very healthy, high mana. Night Stalker has to retreat here. Ember Spirit running away. Morphling also very healthy, unlike the OD now. It seems like the Radiant are happy to disengage, but Wraith King fought back and dropped right in. Nightmared before he could get the stun off, and it seems like the Radiant are committing to their retreat. They were unable to do significant damage to the tower there. Got a couple of solid kills here. They got the 4, the 3, and the 5. Got the buyback on the Wraith King. Ember Spirit died and bought back in that though. I was wondering about that. I could have swore I saw Ember Spirit die in the trees there.
Which trees?
The Nature's Prophet sprout.
Oh, in the middle of the fight, like right there?
Yeah.
Let's check if he bought back.
Silence down.
No,
Yeah,
he didn't buy.
exactly.
Oh wait, no, he did buy back. Yeah, you're right. He did buy back. He doesn't have buyback for another 7 minutes or so.
But that's basically like the ideal pickup against Ember Spirit here. You Nullifier to prevent the Yules, you Orchid to prevent the whatchamacallit, the Remnant, and you just put them in the trees and start right clicking.
Oh no. Down bottom.
Catch here, Lion's gonna die in 3 hits, and Bane is gonna die in 4. Morphling and Nightstalker are on the side here, running into some pretty heavy hitting dire heroes, but they're gonna be satisfied to just pick off these supports. Again, it's that whole dying on a warding expedition. I mean, that's just bound to happen.
You know, it's upsetting too because like take a look at the items that OD has. You went from having a Shadow Blade, Null Talisman, and a few other things to BKB with a BKB to a freaking Scythe of Vice, Yasha and Kaya. It's just, this is gonna be one difficult OD to take down. And like I said,
yeah.
If you keep him alive,
Spirit Breaker here, catching a lot of damage from the Morphling. OD trying to do a little bit of damage in return here. Ember Spirit very low, fighting, escaping on 2 HP practically, and Nature's Prophet not able to save himself with the Sprout because it is nighttime. Ember Spirit back in the mix. Morphling as well. They're not going to be chasing.
or are they?
I'm sorry, as you were saying, or are they?
It may look like they're going to make a super aggressive play right here and go turn it around.
Yeah, Shadow Blade here. You think he's going to be able to pop the Ember Spirit with Scythe of Vice? He's got ult up if he really needs it, but that would
I don't think he has enough damage to do it. I think they were looking for a cheeky play there, but it was such a big risk they couldn't do it. I think maybe the OD was thinking, hey, if these guys go ahead and veer off already, they're gonna go. He's gonna go ahead and try to like stop the wave from being pushed in. And as soon as that buyback happened, the whole entire Radiant 2 backed off.
Right, a lot of pings in the Roche pit, that kind of thing.
No, Roche is not going to be up for another few minutes. They were backing off immediately because they didn't have an Aegis. They expended it already in an earlier fight. And oh gosh, no, Lion, no!
Oh, poor Lion.
No, don't be there, Lion!
Preemptive Lotus Orb, but this is just bad news. Running into 4, I mean, that's tough.
Welcome to the, I want to say the AA meeting, but,
I'm sorry, you were making a point about OD's build before the last fight broke out, I think.
Yeah, he found, because of the Midas, it brought him back into the game, so because he was farming relatively undisturbed, he was able to go ahead and get a Scythe of Vice, which is a really big, important key item that they needed for team fights. Because he can go ahead and apply that to anybody that's not BKB'd or Ancestral Imprisonment. Because now you got 2 useless heroes, and you got 3 to focus on.
The Night Stalker on the Radiant team also went for the Hand of Midas pickup. That seems like a, I don't know, like a fairly popular item.
Yeah, Hand of Midas has been extremely popular in the upper tier brackets of Dota from like Ancient and up, I want to say. And it's been working its way down into the lower pubs. Mainly because like the amount of gold that you get out of it, and I think you still get some experience bonus out of it too. Yeah, you still get some bonus experience, 1.85 out of it, so that's still good. It helps you stay in the game. You get the extra 160 gold now. The cooldown is not too bad on it, like 90 seconds, was it? Yeah, it looks like 90 seconds.
Smoking Dazzle, and he just dies. Catching Spirit Breaker middle as well, they're probably going to be able to seal up this kill. They're going to use a couple of ults on it. By a couple, I mean Finger of Death, but it's going to work out. 2 kills for 5-man smoke is pretty decent.
Not to mention, they got him in the perfect spot, because take a look at where the creep wave's at. Creep wave is in the middle of their base.
And this is, I mean, the Dire.
Oh gosh, no.
Over the cliff here, and suddenly Nature's Prophet's in a lot of trouble. OD is trying his best to put out enough damage to fix the situation. Sanity's Eclipse falls, but it does not do significant amounts of damage to anyone. Looks like Spirit Breaker bought back and died, I suppose. Night Stalker's BKB ended. Wraith King on the ult, coming back up here. Dazzle bought back. It's Dazzle, Wraith King, and OD now against a somewhat depleted Dire team. Night Stalker, for example, is at half. Bane ulti is expended. Morphling's out of mana, but it looks like they will be unable to defend against this push here. And they're content to let the racks fall, and both teams retreat from the situation. Except for this Bane here. This is maybe one of the cheekiest things I've ever seen. Just the shadowing. Man, it looks like it'll get out just in time.
Mr. V. Mr. V. Mr. V's probably thinking, I got this.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
crap, they
not
put down
worried.
a sentry. Sorry guys. I'm leaving. Yeah, I mean, you know, you can only do so much. Like, even look at Ember Spirit's build. He went ahead and also grabbed himself a Scythe of Ice. You know, let's see here. Lion, you know, has his Lotus Orb. The Abyssal Blade, that's going to be fun for Night Stalker, whomever he wants to go ahead and lock down. These item builds, you know, they're becoming more they're becoming more key. The OD is definitely trying to get himself fixated on getting the Lincoln Sphere. You know,
I think the Abyssal Blade active is a huge threat because OD, I mean, the game plan seems like it's been, okay, BKB, wait for Fiend's Grip, and then just start right-clicking and eventually drop the hammer. If Night Stalker can get in there and maybe Abyssal Blade him, the BKB becomes much less relevant. Now he's got to worry about. I guess, though, Lincoln Sphere will also only protect him against one of Abyssal Blade and Fiend's Grip.
Yep. Well, the thing is that both the Abyssal Blade and the Fiend's Grip will go through the BKB. You know, it's just kind of like you're hoping the Lincolns will get procced, so that way that gives you enough time to BKB to avoid whatever it's going to be that's going to be hitting you next.
Right. And Nature's Prophet here falling afoul of Lion and Morphling and Bane. A lot of BKBs active all of a sudden, and this fight became quite large actually, and I believe it is the Radiant who have the Aegis right now, but Shallow Grave onto the OD while OD continues to fight if they can get the Sanity's Eclipse off, but they cannot, and Wraith King is going to go down as well. Dazzle able to flee, and OD with the buyback. Morphling might be a little far up here, might be a bit of danger here. Wraith King finally going down, but now Nature's Prophet, who also bought back if I'm not mistaken, fighting the Morphling here, and OD caught in the Fiend's Grip while Grave. That's a dieback on the OD here. Morphling goes down but had the Aegis, while Nature's Prophet goes down and doesn't have the, they're calling GG on that. Yeah, I suppose there's no way they could have defended after that fight. That's incredible. This game is over.
This game is over. It really is.
I mean, this was just this was like a minor engagement, you know, like Morphling and Bane running into OD suddenly spiraled out of control, and now it's 2-0, a 2-0 series for Kaolin Monks here. UBC Esports DOTA2 Cup. I really gotta double check if this was the semifinal match or the final match, because if this was the final match, I mean, you gotta hand it to Kaolin Monks. That was like an impressive, that they really like highly disciplined. They just closed that game right out.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody and they told me this was the final, so.
Wow, well, congratulations to Kaolin Monks, a 2-0 series in the best of 3 final
Unless I'm wrong.
Unless, yeah, maybe